detectives who handle such cases are part of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit.
These are their stories.
Cheers, gang. Hi, it's Jill from ServiceChannel.
And I'm Chris. Here with some breaking news.
Breaking!
In this series of 3 videos, we're going to explore recent inflation cost trends and talk about how facilities teams can respond to keep their budgets under control.
Today, Chris is going to share some data that will help shed light on the situation.
Yeah, I think the data can really help us tell a story, and maybe not the story you expect.
I'm intrigued. To start off, what are the big picture trends we're seeing?
So in Q3, we saw that the total spend on facilities was up 4% year over year, which is not great at a time when companies are thinking of having to cut back, actually, and now they're being stressed by increased budgets. And then on the cost side of things, the typical invoice to get some work done is up actually 17%, which is a huge jump in just 12 months.
That's a big jump. What's causing that?
So there's multiple factors here, so let's start breaking it down. First, just a reminder that the typical job is composed basically of labor and materials costs. You keep hearing generally in the economy that the cost of labor is going up, the cost of goods are going up, right? So, what does that mean for facilities maintenance? I asked my own question. You asked me the question.
So are we seeing that with maintenance costs as well?
Yes and no. So when we look at the ServiceChannel data for repairs, the cost of labor for the typical service is actually up 26% year over year, which is a huge jump. And then when you look at labor rates, that's when it gets interesting. That the cost per hour for that work is actually holding steady overall, which might not be what you'd expect. There's an exception to this rule like anything. When it comes to kind of general construction work, we're seeing a 9% increase in labor rates there, which does match inflation. But when you look at HVAC, plumbing, electrical, these other trades, rates are actually flat.
Wait, so why are labor costs up so much if the labor rates aren't increasing?
It turns out the real cost driver here is the amount of labor, hours behind each work order. So how long does it take to get the service done, not how much are you paying per hour? And also worth mentioning that many companies have contracted their rates out ahead of time, so it will take some time for those contracts to get renewed and for us to see the labor rates rising.
Okay, so why are services taking longer?
So there's a number of reasons, but a big one here is materials costs, the other part of the equation. So you'd expect, okay, the cost of materials is going up, so won't most companies be spending more on materials in total?
I would, but I sense that's not where you're going here.
You pinned me. The data shows the total spend on materials is actually down in the last year, anywhere from 2% to 5% depending on the trade. And here's why. Everyone's heard about the supply chain challenges, right? It's harder than ever to get the parts that you need. You end up waiting a long time. There's just not enough to go around. Well, if you can't get your hands on what you need, no matter what price you pay, your only other option is to try to fix the stuff you already have. And then you're going to pay more hours for labor to fix the thing that's broken rather than just going in there quickly, replacing the broken part, or just installing a new asset instead. And that's why we see labor spend is going up and material costs are going down.
Makes sense. Everyone still following?
Hey, if you need to rewind the video and listen to that again, go for it. So, what's coming next?
In the next video, we'll be talking to one of our experts about some best practices for keeping costs under control.
Looking forward to it. If you want to see the latest data from the Spend Index, just go to ServiceChannel.com and drop us a follow on LinkedIn so you don't miss any of these videos. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. And probably not the one you're expecting.
I'm intrigued. Oh, wait, here, let me do that again. Okay.
That was good.
I'm intrigued. Sorry, I laughed at the end. I'm intrigued.